You are listening to Phone Eats First. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Phone Eats First, a podcast about romanticizing your life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen. My name is Corey May, Corey in the Kitchen. However you found me, however you know me, hello, hi. I'm so happy you're here and listening. Today's episode is all about routines. My morning routine, my evening routine, why I think routines are important, how you can find your own routine, or maybe why you shouldn't have a routine. I don't know. Whatever you think. If you listened to last week's episode about my 7 ways to wellness, I'm actually recording these back to back because I had an espresso at like 5 p.m. and it's also, today is March 10th, which is daylight savings. So it actually feels like 8 p.m. to me right now, but it's actually 9 p.m. And I also had caffeine going into like 7 p.m. and I probably shouldn't have done that. I actually felt like I was kind of getting high. It was weird. My brain was like, whoa, like I drink caffeine every morning, like a little bit, I drink coffee every day, but I'm kind of wired right now. And so I'm drinking chamomile tea to potentially counteract the caffeine, which isn't going to happen. I already know that. And I'm probably still going to sleep like a rock. I'm not worried about it, but just letting you know in case I sound like I'm wired and just filling you in on my life because I just share all the details for no reason. But let's get into the weekly report. So our reading, I'm going to share a past book since I'm still reading the same book from last week. And one of my all-time favorite books that I completely forgot about is Charlie St. Cloud by Ben Sherwood. And I'm so glad I looked at the author because I was fully going to say Nicholas Sparks. Then I was like, wait, that just doesn't sound right. If you have seen the movie, it's the one with Zac Efron and his brother dies and is actually not a scary ghost, but like a ghost. Like he still gets to see his brother. It's just a really, really good book. It'll make you sob. The movie's also really good and will also make you sob. I recommend if you haven't read it, and especially if you haven't seen the movie, read the book. Okay, eating. I am literally currently eating swamp soup because last week I said I was going to eat it for dinner, and so here I am eating it for dinner, and it's so good. I made another batch after I made the first one, like within the same week, because I still had all the green ingredients, like the parsley, the spinach, green onion, and I don't really use green onion and parsley for anything. And I still had ginger, so I was like, okay, I might as well just make it again. Still had half a rotisserie chicken, and I forgot jalapenos, so I added kind of a lot of red chili flakes, and it was honestly better. I think I might prefer that to the jalapeno because it just kind of adds like the spice that I prefer. Really good. Sinuses are cleared. Mouth's on fire. We loved it. Okay, plan. I am home, at least in March, for 3 weekends in a row. And that feels criminal to me. Like 3 weekends to me, because I'm always gone for work, if you didn't know. I'm like, what do I do with my time? I need to plan a trip, which I'm not going to. I'm going to stay home, or if anything, goes to my parents. But I'm just trying to be home and enjoy it and like slow down because I literally, like I just said, like I'm like, oh, okay, well, what should I do with all this time? Like I need to just chill. I mean, I chilled this weekend and it was great. And today I had like a purging of my closet and room and I feel good and just set up for my week. But that's my plan. Just chill the fuck out. Okay. Obsession. This isn't very crazy or anything, but for the last few weeks, I have been, not every night, but every once in a while, I've been putting kombucha in a wine glass with a splash of apple cider vinegar and then kind of topping it off with water. And it's like a little mocktail because the apple cider vinegar is good to have before dinner. It helps just kind of helps prep your stomach for eating a bigger meal. And I like how it tastes. And so I don't know, it just feels fancy. And the key here is in the wine glass because everything out of a wine glass feels fancy. So that's my obsession. I'm really enjoying it. Today I got a peach flavored kombucha, so I'm excited to try that. But Synergy is my favorite brand of kombucha. It doesn't have any added sugar, so if you're a kombucha fan, that is what I recommend. Okay, in our recipe, we're going basic. If you want to make sourdough, all you need is flour and water. Literally, that's it. And to get a starter started, you measure in weight, not in, there's a lot of different options, but Charlie is who taught me and gave me my starter, and she said the best way to do it is to measure the flour and water in grams instead of like a fourth of a cup and a fourth of a cup, just because you can get a lot more exact with that. So you can just start with 30 grams of flour, 30 grams of water, and then you add more flour and more water for every 24 hours. And you do that for like 10 to 12 days. And then eventually you have bread, and then it gets really complicated from there on. And then you're addicted. You've part of the sourdough cult from there on if you make it that far. So I did film a video this weekend of me making sourdough, and I will eventually post it. I have a really bad habit of filming content and filming recipes and then never editing them and then never posting them. And that is why I have about 60,000 pictures and videos in my camera roll. So, okay, moving on. Tea treat. Today I got these little chocolate covered Easter almonds from Trader Joe's. Like, they look like little Easter eggs. And I was really excited to get them because I don't know what the brand is. Maybe it's like Cadbury, or honestly, it could just be like Hershey's or something. I don't know. But there's these Easter eggs that are colorful. They're not almonds though. But so I was like, oh, maybe these would be similar. And I actually just had one, and they're fine. There's not enough chocolate for me. It technically says like a candy covered, so it's like an M&M vibe. So just think of a really thin M&M layer over an almond. And honestly, if I'm going to have a sweet treat, I just want chocolate ice cream. And so a Ninja Creamy is currently calling my name, but I'm resisting. I'm not going to do it tonight. But tomorrow, 100% having a Ninja Creamy. Okay, that is the weekly report. So let's get into today's... I can't speak. Oh my God. Let's get into today's episode. Okay, first sip of my chamomile lavender tea. Maybe this will help me calm down. Caffeine was a bad idea. All right. This episode is all things routine. And we're talking daily routines here. So morning routine, nighttime routine. How do you get a routine? Why do you have a routine? What is my routine? Hopefully this is a short and sweet episode, but I know every time I've said that, it has never been a short and sweet episode. So fingers crossed. But so first, why have a routine? And I did Google this to just get more of a scientific approach-ish, more formal answers. But a routine just allows people to stay focused and motivated. You have less stress, you have more energy, you have higher productivity throughout the day, you feel more prepared for your day, you have better mental health, better emotional health, and just overall boost your mood. So why would you not want all of those things? And especially if you know you can have all of those things relatively easily by just trying to have a routine every day, which I know, easier said than done. So this will be my disclaimer for the episode that everything is easier said than done. Everyone's routine is different. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything, blah, 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 blah. I should just add that to my intro at this point. But so yes, why would you not have a routine? If you know, for me, the biggest reason is I will feel more prepared for my day, and I feel like I am starting my day on the right foot. In my last episode, I talked about how I'm a really big fan of crossing things off a list and checking things off a list. I'm the type of person that will add something to my list that I've already done just so I can cross it off. Is that crazy? Maybe, but it works. It works for me. And so to me, a routine feels that same way. I don't physically write my routine down. I do know some people that do, but in my head, since my routine is literally a routine, it's the same thing every day. I know what needs to be done. So in my head, I'm checking things off, I think. But anyway, let's just get into my routine. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think it should be a popular opinion. And if you're trying to implement a routine, I think this is actually one of the easiest ways to kind of set yourself up for success. Your routine starts the day before. Your routine does not start when you wake up and open your eyes and get out of bed. Your routine starts right now, today, to set yourself up for tomorrow. And here is what I mean by this. So I kind of felt motivated to actually record this episode because of in the last episode, which I said just recorded 30 minutes ago, I talked about how having a routine is a very key component of my wellness, of my everyday wellness. And so that was already on my mind. And then literally between recording that episode and recording this episode, I did my nighttime routine, which is the part where I'm setting myself up for tomorrow. And I was like, this is all fresh on my mind, and I really feel inspired to share my routine and hopefully inspire you guys to not take my routine, but just develop your own and be motivated to figure out what works for you. So, like I said, your routine starts the day before. So, for me, that is typically setting my morning up. So, there's a few different things that I do. Number one, I make my coffee for the morning. And when I moved to Raleigh, I asked for a coffee pot for Christmas. And the one requirement was that it has a timer so that when I can set the timer the night before, and then when I wake up, the coffee starts brewing. Or before I wake up, the coffee starts brewing at whatever time I set it to. So, for example, I put the coffee grounds and the water in, and then I set the timer for 6 a.m. So at 6 a.m. tomorrow, the coffee will start brewing all on its own. And then it'll be done at like 6:05, 6:10, however much I put in there. And it is one of the best parts of my morning. I think I have only forgotten to brew the coffee the night before twice in like the last 2.5 years that I have lived here. And not like bragging on how good I am at doing that. It's just like genuinely that is how important that is to me and how much I love waking up to coffee ready. It makes my day, genuinely. So, and that, well, now I'm on this like not drinking coffee, or I'm eating before I'm drinking coffee. So I actually brew the coffee a little bit later because I just don't need to drink the coffee. And it does stay, my thing also stays hot for 2 hours. Like it stays, the heater stays on for 2 hours, whatever, heating pad. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, my coffee will be brewed. It'll be warm. And then when I'm ready to drink it, it's there for me. So that is a huge time saver and also like mood booster. Another thing I do the night before, I get some of my smoothie ingredients out. So I do the dry stuff and I put it in, I used to put it in the blender, but I think it's better to put it in my actual cup because the dry ingredients and then the cold fruit and the milk, when they like all mix at once before blending, it just like all sticks to the side. And I don't know, I've learned it's best to just put the dry ingredients in a mug and then first blend like the fruit, the milk, the spinach, the yogurt, all that, the wet ingredients, and then add the dry ingredients. And I don't know, works for me, might not work for you, whatever. But I do my protein powder, my collagen, and I'm doing creatine now. So I put all of that in a cup. It's ready to go. Sometimes I put the spinach in the blender the night before. Sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends how crazy I'm feeling. Right now, I'm not feeling it. Another thing I do, I get my lunchbox out. Yes, I take a lunchbox to work. Yes, I bring my lunch to work every day. And so then the other thing I do is I always have my lunch ready for the work the next day. Like I don't make it in the morning. I bring leftovers to work for lunch. So that is kind of an easy step for me because that's really just cleaning up dinner. I box everything up and it's just the box I take to work. So for me, that's easy and like makes sense and that's what I like. But I literally get out like tomorrow I'm bringing just like some random Lululemon bag. I've already got my fork in there. So I don't forget my fork. And then the food's in the fridge, just have to grab my seltzer. I'm going to grab a fruit, probably an apple. I don't know. I'll decide the fruit in the morning. But again, that'll take 3 seconds because it's already out. And then another very key thing I do is I go ahead and make my greens for the morning. So I take Bloom every day. So I get my shaker bottle, fill it with water, put the greens already in it. And for me, honestly, the main reason I do this the night before, not just so it's, well, one, because it's one less step, but because I like to have, like, we have a horrible ice maker in our house. So then the water's like super cold in the morning because it's been in the fridge all night. So that's like a key thing for me because then I have cold water in the morning. Otherwise, I won't have cold water in the morning and I like my water cold. So this is all what I mean by setting your day up the night before. And then I have my actual nighttime routine. And my nighttime routine, honestly, like it's not that crazy and it's not that strict. And that's okay. I don't think I would really function well if I had a strict nighttime routine, just mainly with like all the travel I do. And I don't know, like for me, the nighttime, I turn my body off. I turn my brain off. I just relax. So, I mean, maybe that is what you would consider my nighttime routine, but when we compare it to my morning, you'll kind of see the difference. And so obviously everything I just described, the part about getting the morning ready is part of the nighttime routine. But let's talk about after that, after I've had dinner, because I do some of these things throughout the day. Like realistically, I made the coffee for tomorrow at like 11 a.m. today just because I was thinking about it. And then I made my greens at like 2 p.m. today because I unloaded the dishwasher and my little blender shaker bottle was in my hand, and I was like, oh, you know what, let me just go and do this. So these are things I kind of do throughout the day and not like necessarily all at once, sometimes all at once, really just depends. But so now after that, at some point in the evening is when I start my actual nighttime routine. And for me, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a very strict one, and I'm kind of happy about that. I think that's good for my sanity. I just like to relax in the evening. I get home from work, honestly kind of late because I have a long drive and whatever. But so I get home from work. Ideally, I walk Callie, especially now that daylight savings has happened and it's lighter longer. I will probably be going on a walk like every evening, and I'm really excited about that. It's good for her. It's good for me. And then I have dinner at some point. Ideally, I cook dinner just because, like you all know, I love the process of cooking dinner. But this week I actually have a ton of stuff meal prepped for once, so I'm going to see how that goes. Like, I'm either going to have too much time on my hands, or maybe that'll encourage me to work out or go on a longer walk. Or I don't know, because I'll be like, oh, my dinner's actually already ready. We'll see how that goes. I don't typically meal prep. And so then after dinner, I have a sweet treat most of the time. A Ninja Creamy most of the time. Well, I don't know. I just love chocolate, and I just love a little sweet treat after dinner. And then I have my tea. Typically, peppermint tea is my go-to because it's good for digestion, lots of stuff probably. Tonight I'm having my chamomile tea because I'm wired on caffeine at the moment. I think the tea really just soothes my stomach, and also it's, now that I do it every day, it's just part of my routine. It's like something I look forward to, and it's kind of like a signal to my body that I am starting to wind down and get ready for bed, which I think is honestly the most important part of a nighttime routine. Is if your body's getting used to these things, it's literally signals to your brain like, hey, let's start like slowing down. I'm going to go to bed soon. I want to sleep soon. It's just like literally makes your body slow down. So, and then another thing I do at nighttime is I shower just about every night. Don't always wash my hair, obviously, but just like a nice rinse off, even if I haven't worked out that day, just because I love the hot water. I just feel like I'm washing the day off of me, whether it's stress, sweat, whatever it is. It is truly like a separation of daytime to nighttime for me, because then afterwards I put on my pajamas, I'm all cozy, I feel clean, and I'm like ready to get in bed. And then I would like to read every night. I don't, though. If I told you I read every night, that would be a lie. Like, I read this weekend for kind of a long time. I got into my book. So I don't know. It just kind of depends. But ideally, I don't scroll on my phone and read, but I like to scroll when I get in bed. I mean, I'm being honest. And that's also truly when I do a lot of my posting, because I like to do story dumps just of the day. Not that I do that often on the weekdays, but I don't know, just kind of like a good time for me to catch up and actually be on my phone, because I feel like I'm not on my phone from like the time I leave work to when I'm going to bed, it just works for me. So that's kind of what I do. And I also do have my Hatch alarm clock, which I love. And I've said this before, it's not the most life-changing thing I've ever purchased, but I am happy with my purchase. And I don't know, if you're thinking about getting one, they are kind of expensive, but I like mine. I think it's worth it. I like the bed, like the sunset feature and then the sunrise feature, and also just the sounds that come with it. I don't know. And then it's like one less thing you have to do on your phone. It works for me. I really like it. And I think that's my nighttime routine. I mean, me and Callie go to bed, we cuddle, and I fall asleep in about 3 seconds, which I'm very thankful of. And then we've got the morning. This is the key to my routine. I mean, it's all key. If I don't do my steps the day before, I will be okay. If I don't do my morning steps, I will not be okay. And so the very first thing about a morning routine is you need to have enough time. And at least I need to have enough time. Like for me, time is like probably my like very, very most important thing in the morning. Because if I wake up late, which I don't normally do, but if I'm like wanting to snooze or wanting to stay in bed a little bit longer, I literally think through my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I have enough time to like do everything I need to do. And that's my main motivation to get out of bed. So another reason to have a routine and some things that you like to do and want to do and need to do is it makes you get out of bed. So I try to get out of bed 2 hours before I leave for work. So for me, that's like, in a perfect world, I would get up at like 6 and leave the house at 8. But I don't really do that. I get up closer to like 6:30, 6:45. So recently 7, just because I don't know. I've been prioritizing my sleep. So in a perfect world, 2 hours before I get up, I immediately make my bed every day. Make my bed. It doesn't take any time, and it just is a immediate check off the list. And I'm sure every single person has seen those like Instagram memes that are like, oh, people that make their beds or every day are 3,000,000% more likely to be a millionaire. I've seen it a lot. I think you should know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. But make your bed. It's really easy. And it's just like an immediate like, ooh, look, I did that. I can do this. And you're keeping your space clean. Like all referencing back to the last episode. Just like an easy thing to do to start releasing those happiness chemicals. And then I immediately go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, put my contacts in, rinse my face with cold water. I've stopped using face wash in the morning unless I'm just feeling like extra greasy for some reason, but just like splash some cold water, then do my skincare, like lotion, sunscreen, all that jazz, ready for the day. And then I head to the kitchen, let Cal out, and then I do a mixture of like 10 things at once. So in no particular order, but these all get done. I drink my greens that are already cold, already in the fridge. If the dishwasher was ran, because typically we run it at night, I unload the dishwasher. I get my lunch ready. I make my smoothie. Eventually get my coffee out. Sometimes I do drink my coffee because very crucial part of my morning routine is the morning poop. Sorry, guys. I said it. I poop in the morning. And I'm proud of that because it means I have a good digestive system. I drink a lot of water. I eat good food. My body is getting rid of the food from the day before. It's a good sign, and I do it in the morning, and I'm proud of it. So sometimes I need the coffee in the morning to, start that process. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. Just varies. So that is why I have the coffee ready at all times. I also feed Callie. I walk Callie. At some point in here, I also get dressed. I don't really set my clothes out because I wear the same things every day, just like leggings and a t-shirt to work. So that's very easy for me. So I just, pick and choose, pick my leggings, pick my shirt, pick my hoodie, variation of the same thing every day. And if it's a super good morning, I work out. So like when I did 75 hard and I don't know, when I go through like phases of feeling really good and motivated to work out, I will work out in the morning. And I wish I could say I worked out every single morning because that is how I feel my best throughout the day because you feel so accomplished. Like for me, there is almost nothing more satisfying than being like, oh yeah, I've already worked out today. Like I love it. I love the feeling. It makes me feel so proud and accomplished. I do need to work out in the morning. Like it's not hard. I just need to get up earlier. I mean, easier said than done, of course. But I am trying to be more intentional about working out in the morning because it does feel good. And I work out from home. Like I have a little sunroom gym with my Peloton, with my weights, with everything. So I have access to the classes, but I think it's harder for me because I can do them whenever I want that I don't do them when I think I want, if that makes sense. Like it's not like I'm signing up for a class that I've paid for and if I don't go, I wasted money or I'm like taking a spot of someone else that's on a wait list, whatever it is. So I think having an actual workout class would make me work out, but I love my Peloton and I don't plan on doing workout classes anytime soon. So I just need a lot more motivation internally to work out. So goal is to work out in the morning as well. But then you have to add the shower into the pre-work routine and you have to stop sweating, cold shower. Like that would be the ideal scenario. You work out, do all these things, take a cold shower, do your day. Some days I do it. A lot of days I don't. Okay, and that's like basically my morning routine. Then I head to work. I drink my smoothie in the car. I drink my coffee after because, we'd need food in our stomach before we drink our coffee. We also don't want to drink coffee first thing in the morning because then the caffeine, yada, yada, yada. But you guys get the gist. I don't really have like daytime routines. I mean, it's literally just work, lunch, work, drive home. And then if I'm not, like if it's the weekend or I'm not working, like my days are totally different. It's basically my routine just spread out all day long and doing everything that makes me happy. But I try and get out and do a little walk around the parking lot at lunch, and I encourage everyone to do that as well. It really boost my mood. I feel a little bit more focused when I get back to work, and I don't know, just you should do that. And if I'm working from home, I for sure do that because it's really easy because I have a dog barking at me to take her out. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's go around the block. I need this too. But that is my routine. That is my like core routine. And again, your routine is not going to look like this. Your routine could be completely different. You could be that type of person that journals every morning or reads in the morning or does a dance routine in the morning to wake up. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I would like to know what you do. I kind of like hearing what other people prioritize during the day. I think it's a fun topic. But moral of the story, everyone is different. Everyone needs different things. But so here are some of my suggestions on how you can create a routine or kind of find things that work for you. So number 1, figure out your priorities. Not every person has the same needs, so we don't need the same things. For example, you might not work out at all. You should, but like working out is not a priority for you. So that is definitely not going to be in your morning routine. Or maybe you don't drink coffee. You don't need to do what I'm doing. So just like figure out, like think about your day and think about the moments where maybe you're spending too much time on something, or you know that there is a shorter way of doing something, or if there's like a certain moment that really stresses you out, or something that you overthink a lot, or if you spend way too much time trying to figure out what to wear. Like notice these moments and either write them down or keep them in your head and then be like, okay, I spend way too much time figuring out what to wear to work. I should really do that the night before. Or maybe I scroll way too much before bed and then I have a hard time sleeping just because of the light. Like, okay, well, maybe set an alarm to put your phone down and read a book instead, even if it's just one page. Whatever it is, try and figure out where the needs are so then you can figure out ways to help those needs or replace those issues, or just overall like add things to help wind down at nighttime, or things to wake you up in the morning and motivate you to get out of bed and do all of these things. Number 2, start small. If your list of to-dos is way too long, you're not going to complete anything because you're just going to be overwhelmed by your list. So, I mean, maybe make a list of everything you eventually want to do, but then be like, okay, I don't need to. Oh my God, wait, guys, I forgot a crucial part of my morning. I ice roll. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that. Wow, I'm shocked. Yes, I ice roll every single morning. I travel with it. I bring it everywhere. I have one. I bought one for my parents now, but actually it's just for me so that when I go to the beach, I have one in that freezer too, because I'm also afraid to leave my ice roller somewhere because then I won't have it. I mean, if I don't have it, I'll just use an ice cube, but it's kind of aggressive on the skin. So, wow, can't believe I forgot that. And I do actually recommend an ice roller for everyone. It is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, mine is plastic. I got it off of Amazon for like $7. But you keep it in the freezer so it's cold and just like wakes your skin up. And this is something that's kind of crazy. Not actually crazy to me, whatever. Kind of crazy. I crave it. So in the morning after I like do my bathroom stuff, wash my face, put on lotion, and like literally as I'm like walking to the kitchen, my skin is like, I can tell I need it. Like my skin is like waiting for the cold on my cheeks and forehead and eyes and everything. I don't know what in the ice roller I'm addicted to, but I am addicted to some part of it because I love it. I need it. My body's like, where's the ice roller? Like this morning, for example, I didn't ice roll until like a whole hour after being up and around and about because I started doing stuff with my sourdough. And I was just, I don't know, I just wasn't ice rolling. And my skin was literally like, it felt dry. Like it's weird, but also good because it's like a reminder to do these things that I know my body likes. So anyway, back to the list of to-dos. Write everything down that you want to work on or want to work towards, and then pick 2 things. Start small. Like start with those 2 things. And then going to the next suggestion, number 3, habit stack. It literally works. Do as many things at the same time as you can, but things that make sense. Like you obviously aren't going to read your journal and meditate and put your legs up on the wall all at the same time. Certain things require more attention than others. But a good example of habit stacking that I've done recently, and I don't do this every morning, but I honestly just kind of wanted to try it. But so I'm sure you've all heard about drinking bone broth and how good it is for you in the morning. It's good for your gut. So I wanted to try it, and I did, and I don't like how it tastes. Like I thought it would just be kind of like soup, like chicken broth. I thought it'd be fine and salty and taste good. It really doesn't taste good. And I also already drink so many beverages in the morning. Like I have my greens, I have my regular water, I have coffee, I have my smoothie. Like I literally walk into work with like 4 cups. And so adding another beverage to my morning, like it's got to be worth it. So I also have been wanting to add electrolytes to my water throughout the day because, good for hydration. I was like, okay, well, how can I do like all this at once? So I wanted to make my bone broth taste better and get electrolytes in and just, lemon, because lemon water is so good for you too. So here's what I did. I did bone broth, a teaspoon of ginger powder, a teaspoon of sea salt, a fourth of a lemon, and then I topped it off with hot water because I think it'll taste better warm. And so you're knocking out like 5 things at once. Your lemon for liver detoxification, your salt for electrolytes, your bone broth for gut health. Ginger, I think, is just good for you at all times. And yeah, and just like, it's good. It's so good in the morning. It's kind of like tea or coffee vibes because it's hot. I don't know. But that's just an example of habit stacking. Doing a lot of things at once, checking a lot of boxes at once. That time in my morning where I'm in the kitchen, I do like 10 different things, kind of not in the same order, but at some point I ice roll, I unload the dishwasher, I make my smoothie, I get my lunch out. Like to me, that's a habit stacking session. Like I'm like, boom, 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 get it all done at once in whatever order feels right at that moment. But just, figure out what works for you. And suggestion number 4, at the end of the day, ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. If something isn't benefiting you or you're not enjoying it or you're not looking forward to this certain task or routine thing that you think is good for you, it might not be worth it for you. It might not be worth your time. You might not actually need it. It might not be benefiting you. Again, not everything works for everyone. So you might try greens and you might not notice a single difference. You might not think they're worth it. Okay, don't drink them. That's fine. Or maybe you're doing HIIT workouts or like a high intensity workout in the morning and you feel more anxious throughout the day. Okay, well, maybe switch to a lower impact workout. Just kind of figure out what works for you. Because at the end of the day, if you are creating this routine and you're not sticking to it or it's stressing you out more than it's helping you and preparing you, you're doing too much. So figure out what works for you. This episode was just me explaining what works for me and what I genuinely look forward to doing each day and helps set me up for success and helps set me up for the day. And I'm waking up and I've already accomplished certain things because I did things the night before to help me. So just, something to think about and something to help you romanticize your life inside and outside of the kitchen. Well, that is all I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, and please leave a rating and a review on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. Let me know you listen to the podcast. I love hearing people reach out, like random people are like, oh, I listen. And I'm like, really? And I'm immediately like embarrassed, or I'm like, oh my God, just depending who the person is. But I love that you guys listen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I really want to know what you guys think of the podcast. I want to know what ideas you have for me to talk about, guests you think I should talk to, everything. I want to know. I want to know it all. But I hope you have a great week ahead of you and a great day today, and your routines just are on point this week. Thanks for listening. We will talk soon. You are listening to Phone Eats First.